looks juggernautical. I think this offense could be the best offense the Colts have sported in the Peyton Manning era. Even better than their 2004 offense. Write it down. And I'm just going to throw this in real quick. Defensively, I know a lot has been made of the Colts defense, weak against the run. All depends on one player, but I'm going to be honest. I really like this defense to the point where I'm actually thinking the Colts. My early prediction, the Colts are going to repeat. And looking at their defense, you've got their two fat defensive tackles. Anthony McFarland, he's made a career out of stopping the run. Won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay for it. So, obviously, he's going to get the job done in defending against the run. And then you got maybe Corey Simon, and all he can do now is play the run. He's so big, he can't really rush the passer anymore. But the point is, they've got their two fat defensive tackles to plug up the run. And you got rookie Quinn Pitcock. I think he was a second or third rounder. I think he could be good. His stock fell at the end of last college season, but he can still be a player. So that's actually looking like a pretty good defensive tackle set. And then on the outside, you've got Rashean Mathis, good pass rusher, double-digit sack guy, underrated. He can get after that quarterback. And Freeney. He was pushed around a little bit last year, but this guy can rush the passer like few others. He has the speed of a deep threat wide receiver, really. I think he can run like a 4.440. It's ridiculous for a guy his size. But the point is, you've got, in my opinion, the ideal defensive line. Big defensive tackles, fast defensive ends. And you've got, so their line looks good. At linebacker, you gotta have a little bit of faith. But, I mean, obviously, Cato June just left. Rob Morris got cut. And the fact that they're willing to cut Rob Morris tells me that they know what they're doing. When you look at all the linebackers they've recycled through the Indianapolis system over the years, Mike Peterson, Marcus Washington, Cato June, I think Gary Brackett, they don't have a problem replacing linebackers. So I'm just going to have faith in the cover 2 scheme that Tony Dungy has set up. I think this defense could be something. I think this defense is underrated. And with this line, whoever they plug in at linebacker should do just fine. And in the secondary, I like the secondary. You've got Bob Sanders, obviously makes a big impact for this defense. Really showed up last year in the playoffs. If he can stay healthy, great player. Antoine Bethea, 5th rounder or 6th rounder last year. Replaced Mike Doss, outplayed Mike Doss, allowed Mike Doss to walk in free agency. Good player, played well as a rookie. Keep an eye on him. I think he could be a special player, and that's a pretty good safety tandem. And then you got Marlon Jackson, showed real promise at cornerback last year. Kelvin Hayden, big play in the Super Bowl. Tim Jennings, Rushing, just all these guys got to step up to the plate. I think the Colts could be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy again when this season is all said and done. And that's why. And then, number one thing to watch. Sorry I got off on a little tangent there, but I love to talk about the Colts. Very fun team. The Baltimore Ravens defense. I love this defense for several reasons. First of all, Ray Lewis is my favorite player. Member of the 2020 club, big hitter. He gets tackles, sacks, picks, hits hard, forces fumbles, helps inspire his defense to greater heights, has his Super Bowl ring. I like it. I just love to watch this guy. And then around him you've got, young guy, undrafted, Bart Scott, has potential to be a superstar in this league. Another example of the Baltimore Ravens continuously pounding out elite talent in the linebacker corp. Terrell Suggs, great pass rusher. Prototypical 3-4 outside linebacker in my opinion. In a contract year, so we should see double-digit sacks out of him again. I expect a big year out of this guy going into free agency. I hope the Ravens can re-sign him. Adalius Thomas, gone, but this team can replace him. They've replaced linebackers before. They are a linebacker machine. These guys they drafted, like Jarrett Johnson, Gary Stills, whoever, somebody's going to step up. Somebody's going to be the next great linebacker in this league. On the lines, you got Trevor Price, underrated superstar, 13 sacks last year, even though he spent most of his time at 3-4 defensive end, which is not a position from which you can get sacks traditionally. And actually, in the interest of watching history, Price is approaching near the end of his career, entering his 11th season in the NFL, 77 career sacks. So maybe he can top 100. That should be interesting to watch for. You got a second-year player, Haloti Ngata, who played the run quite well last year. Kelly Gregg. Secondary, Ed Reed, always a stud back there. A little overrated, I'll admit. I don't like him as much as, say, Brian Dawkins or Troy Polamalu or Adrian Wilson, but he's good at what he does. And I think he's going to pass 30 career interceptions this year pretty easily. Could even do 35. We'll see. DeJuan Laundrie, stud in the making. 5 picks, 3 sacks, a touchdown, 69 tackles last year. Outplayed Reed, if I'm being quite honest, last season. Could be a future stud in this league. I think he could make the Pro Bowl. And then obviously Chris McAllister, Samare Roll. He's not cutting it anymore, really. Needs to either move to nickel corner, let like Corey Ivy move to the number 2 cornerback spot or something. But he's not a bad player, just gets beat a little too much. So I think this defense should have another one of those record-setting seasons, top of the league. And, after the Colts, my second pick to win the Super Bowl this year is the Baltimore Ravens. And they need to win it this year because Ogden is just about to retire. Derek Mason getting older, McNair getting older, Ray Lewis getting older, Suggs about to enter free agency, Trevor Price getting older. They have some young talent on this team, but they also are getting a little old. And if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, I think their window is closed for the next, 2 to 4 years. So good luck to them. And I'm going to be keeping my eyes on other players too. Warren Sapp should pass 100 career sacks this season, so got to keep an eye on that. Defensive tackles getting 100 sacks is a pretty big accomplishment. And Brian Dawkins, like I said, 2020 club. All these guys that are about to set these milestones. Randy Moss. I'm just going to be watching all of them, but those are my top 10. Alright, I think that's good enough for now. I've probably gone on a little bit too long. I'm going to try and get my webcam working right now. All we got is audio. I'm working on that. I'm going to come back, talk about my team, the Seahawks, other teams I like, other players I like, expectations. Just talk about the NFL in general. Alright, I'm out.